May a man be liable for damages if he breach his promise to marry a woman? What do you think? Let's find out in this case titled Basque v. Court of Appeal with GR number 97336 dated February 19, 1993. The facts of the case are as follows. On October 27, 1987, private respondent, lady, without the assistance of counsel, filed with the aforesaid trial court a complaint for damages against the petitioner, boyfie, for the alleged violation of their agreement to get married. She alleges in said complaint that petitioner courted and proposed to marry her, she accepted his love on the condition that they would get married, they therefore agreed to get married after the end of the school semester, which was in October of that year. Petitioner then visited the private respondent's parents in Banaga, Bugalan, Pangasinan to secure their approval to the marriage. Sometime in August 20, 1987, the petitioner forced her to live with him in the Lozano apartments. She was a virgin before she began living with him. A week before the filing of the complaint, petitioner's attitude towards her started to change. He maltreated and threatened to kill her. As a result of such maltreatment, she sustained injuries. During a confrontation with a representative of the Barangay captain of Gailag a day before the filing of the complaint, petitioner repudiated their marriage agreement and asked her not to live with him anymore, and the petitioner is already married to someone living in Bacolod City. Private respondent then prayed for judgment ordering the petitioner to pay her damages in the amount of not less than P45,000.00, reimbursement for actual expenses amounting to P600.00, attorney's fees and costs, and granting her such other relief and remedies as may be just and equitable. The lower court applying Article 21 of the Civil Code ruled in favor of respondent. The Court of Appeals affirmed the decision in toto. The question now is whether the ex-boyfie is liable for damages for breaching his promise to marry the lady in this case. The existing rule is that a breach of promise to marry per se is not an actionable wrong. Congress deliberately eliminated from the draft of the new Civil Code the provisions that would have made it so. This notwithstanding, the said code contains a provision, Article 21, which is designed to expand the concept of torts or quasi-delict in this jurisdiction by granting adequate legal remedy for the untold number of moral wrongs which is impossible for human foresight to specifically enumerate and punish in the statute books. In the light of the above laudable purpose of Article 21, we are of the opinion, and so hold, that where a man's promise to marry is in fact the proximate cause of the acceptance of his love by a woman and his representation to fulfill that promise thereafter becomes the proximate cause of the giving of herself unto him in a sexual congress, proof that he had, in reality, no intention of marrying her and that the promise was only a subtle scheme or deceptive device to entice or inveigle her to accept him and to obtain her consent to the sexual act, could justify the award of damages pursuant to Article 21 not because of such promise to marry but because of the fraud and deceit behind it and the willful injury to her honor and reputation which followed thereafter. It is essential, however, that such injury should have been committed in a manner contrary to morals, good customs, or public policy. In the instant case, respondent court found that it was the petitioner's fraudulent and deceptive protestations of love for and promise to marry plaintiff that made her surrender her virtue and womanhood to him and to live with him on the honest and sincere belief that he would keep said promise, and it was likewise these fraud and deception on appellant's part that made plaintiff's parents agree to their daughters living in with him preparatory to their supposed marriage. In short, the private respondent surrendered her virginity, the cherished possession of every single Filipina, not because of lust but because of moral seduction, the kind illustrated by the Code Commission in its example earlier adverted to. Prior decisions of this court clearly suggest that Article May 21 be applied in a breach of promise to marry where the woman is a victim of moral seduction. Therefore, take a lot of care, ladies. May a man be liable for damages if he breach his promise to marry a woman?